Since this week we're talking about why we write, I thought I'd come back to where it all started. So I'm in my old bedroom at my parents' house. And even though nothing in here is what I used to own, it's still kind of like home. Asking any writer why they write is sort of like asking you why you had that weird dream last night, or why your favorite color is your favorite color, or why your best friend means so much to you. You might come up with a few reasons, a few concrete things, but nailing down one comprehensive explanation that wraps all that up in a neat bow, it's just too hard to do sometimes. Sometimes it's just beyond words, which can be kind of frustrating for a writer. But I'm still gonna try. As I mentioned last week, I pretty much have always wanted to be a writer. And I think that goes back to storytelling. My mom really encouraged me to tell stories when I was a kid, and encouraged in such a way that she wrote them down for me. I think I might still have some, and if I do, I will be sharing them as soon as possible. My mom and my brother both encourage the storytelling. My brother used to write me choose your own adventure comics, which are pretty much the coolest thing. But that idea of storytelling has been ingrained in me since I was about 3 or 4 years old. And the idea of crafting it has been with me for about that long, because I watched my brother write these stories for me, and my mom frequently would make up a bedtime story instead of just reading me one. So I always had the conception of creating stories rather than just experiencing one. And I think that that's part of why writing always made sense to me, was that I just always had that idea that stories come from somewhere. Even though I understood the concept of storytellers and writers, I didn't really understand the concept that you could write for a living until I started reading The Babysitter's Club and paid attention to the fact that Anne and Martin had written them all. Then, when I learned that you could write for a living, I thought, that's the coolest thing ever! I can get paid for telling stories! Something that I'm gonna do anyway! So, I would like to be published. I'd like to be a novelist. And that's gonna be hard, because I need to write a novel first. Which, that's what I'm working on with KL. The two of us are working on a steampunk novel. And I would tell you the details, but then I'd have to kill you. Or force you to get someone to publish it, and then buy it, and then convince all of your friends to buy it, and then come back and validate me. So that's pretty much why I write. I want to tell stories, and I want to get paid for it. Why do you write? Although I have to say, not being a mutant really bummed me out. It bummed me out a lot when I was about 13, and I realized that I was going through puberty already and I hadn't developed any mutant powers, because like in X-Men and stuff, they almost always develop mutant powers right around the age of puberty, and that wasn't happening for me. I really wanted to be telepathic. Or telekinetic. Telekinetic. Who wouldn't want to be telekinetic? Then I could be all like, lights off,